Welcome to another Tuesday Tips for Transformation. I'm Waxela Sananda here with Ascension tips that you can do right now, wherever you are on your journey. And if you like this, go ahead and press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I come out every Tuesday with a new Ascension tip and then lots of other great stuff as well. So today I am presenting you with presence. Presence as an ascension way of being, an ascended way of being. And what I mean by presence, it's more than just physically being somewhere. It's bringing your whole self to the situation, to the place where you are. It's getting centered in your being. It might seem very simple or very obvious, but you will be surprised at how often we go unconscious, unpresent in our lives. And for the ascension process to really work, it's all about getting present for your intuition, to get intuitive understandings, to get downloads, to interact with your guides and your galactic family, and of course, to have intimacy in all of your relationships with whether it's your partner, friends, family members, children, parents. You must have presence for them to understand you, to feel understood by you, to feel heard by you, to really feel connected to your heart, and for you to feel connected to theirs. It's all about being present. Presence as a state of being, not just being in a place, but being present when you're anywhere. Again, like I said, it seems simple, right? But how many times do you go on a walk in your neighborhood and pass by things that you completely have filtered out? For instance, you might be walking, looking at your phone, you might be thinking about your to-do list. So my challenge for you this week is to practice, number one, a presence walk. And do this every day. If you have a walk around your neighborhood, or maybe it's even a drive, if you drive to work every day, if you take the same drive or the same walk or the same bike ride every day, then bring your full presence and start to notice things that you've never noticed before, even though they've probably been there the whole time. Notice the seasonal changes. Are there flowers growing? Are there beautiful buds on the trees? I have a mango tree in my yard, and every day I get to watch. It's almost like I can see the mangoes growing just by every day watching them get a little plumper and a little plumper. It's really fun to watch that fruit blossoming. It started out as little flowers and turned into now fruit. And it'll be a couple months yet before it's actually ripe and ready to eat. And it's fun to view that process. I'm really present to it every day. I'm really putting my attention on it. I'm looking at the mangoes, looking at the size, looking at the tree and how many there are, and how the leaves does the tree need watering? Are they wilty, or does it look well hydrated and happy? Do I need to send energy to the tree to make it like more vibrant and make healthier fruit, or is it super happy on its own? And so every day I'm bringing that type of presence simply to my yard and to what's growing there. And being present to the mango tree has also made me present to all of the other plantings around my yard, and in my neighborhood. So I've noticed that what we bring, the more presence we bring to one point, the more presence we bring to everything surrounding that point. And so as you walk or drive, or even if you're in your house and you have not been able to get outside, some people are in quarantine still, walk around your house. And you could do this from inside your house and look at the things, the hot spots. Are there places that you completely have filtered out, like piles of paperwork or piles of odds and ends, or a drawer where maybe you throw all the stuff that you don't know what to do with? Start to notice and get present to what is in your surroundings. And then what type of presence can you bring to upgrade your experience. Sometimes it's just enjoyment. Sometimes, certainly if you're walking and it's spring, I love just participating in watching the spring flowers grow, watching the trees, watching the blooms and the buds and the fruit and all of those things. I live in Florida. I get a lot of that. But wherever you are, there's something going on that you can get present to, you can notice, you can bring your presence in your physical environment. And then the next step is to take that presence and bring it into your relationships, into the people that you talk to. Now, this doesn't even mean that you have to know the person. This could be someone that if you're checking out at the grocery store, attempt making eye contact. Some people won't make eye contact with you. Some do. Some cashiers always make eye contact. And I love that. It's just this little exchange that happens. I have a possum that lives, I believe it lives next to the mango tree. And if I come home at night after dark, in the whatever late at night and it's dark, a lot of times I can see that possum under the mango tree. I think it might be eating the mangoes, that have fallen off. And but what I notice about its presence, like when it sees me coming and I'm driving my car, and so the lights flash in its eyes are big and staring right at me. And I honestly feel like I have some sort of interaction with it. Like I'm like, oh wow, there's my little friend the possum. I'm very present to noticing, where is that possum today? What's he doing, or she? Maybe it's going to have babies. I don't know. But I love the noticing of the environment around me. And so the people, the animals, what are your animals communicating to you just through their presence, through their eye contact, through their body language and ways of being? How can you be more present? You can practice this on Zoom calls. You can even practice this on the telephone, on telephone calls where you can't see the person. It takes more presence to feel and receive that person's communication. But notice the difference. And you can tell even when you're on the phone, if somebody is engaged in, let's say, typing on their computer while you're talking to them on the phone, even though you can't see them, maybe you can't hear the computer, you can feel their disengagement and they can feel yours. If you pick up your phone, if you're getting a text from someone while you're on the phone with somebody else, and you pick up the phone and read that text, that other person, even though they can't see you, they can feel your disengagement. So when you bring presence into your surroundings and into your relationships, this is a huge piece of just being in an ascended way, because you are bringing your presence to your divine self and you're letting that self exude out of you in a bigger way, right? And people feel that. They receive your presence. They can feel it. They can expand just from you being present. They will get more present to you. Watch this with your kids. If you have children and they're like, let's say they're on their phone or playing a video game and you come in their room, you get nothing, right? You get no presence from them. But if you say their name, you're like, hey, can I have your attention for a minute? Will you put your phone down, or will you stop that game for a minute and talk with me? And you face them and you ask them to face you and make eye contact with you. The presence and the exchange in 1 minute, you can get more out of that, more presence, more exchange, more being heard, more them feeling heard than an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, even days of attempting communication while they're on their screens. Parents, I know you know what I'm talking about. If you have gamers like I do, or someone that's like always distracted by their phone, if you ask them, okay, put the phone down, put the game away, let's just communicate and be with each other. Certainly at meals, this is a thing that comes up. Let's just have a meal and not have the screens around, put the phones away, let's talk, let's make eye contact, let's get into each other's worlds. Let's be present with each other for this next 30 minutes or 1 hour, and see if you can stretch that time with all of your relationships. Maybe it's coworkers. Notice what happens if you're used to going to work and just kind of passing everyone by. Hey, how you doing? You might say hi, but not really sit and listen or stand and just make eye contact. Look at what happens to your relationships when you get present and really give someone 100% of your attention for even 5 seconds. That's going to change your relationship It drastically will change your relationship if you do that every day. You walk in, how are you? How was your weekend? You know, like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. People are gonna be like, oh wow, what happened? Like, I never realized how she wanted to know about me before. Or he wanted to know about my day. That felt so good. You know, just making eye contact can make a huge difference. So this is my challenge for you is presence. Also noticing how you take yourself out of presence. I had 4 years. This is embarrassing, embarrassing story. 4 years of my life where I played Candy Crush, as I felt like it was like calming. Maybe it was on some level, but I just took myself out of presence. So it was an excuse to not be present. 4 years, I did that. Not like the whole time, but you know, like probably an hour a day, 2 hours a day, maybe more. Some days that's a long time. And one day I was just like, I am hiding my life. I'm wasting my life on a silly game. It's just having me not be present to my relationships, to my work, to anything. And I gave it up. I never opened it again. I never played that game again. Years ago, I stopped and I'm like, realized it just suddenly I woke up like, this is not serving my highest good at all. And I'm not saying, it's a bad game or anything like that. It's fun, right? But I was playing it in a way that was reducing my presence in the world. It was taking me out of my relationships, taking me away from, like I was using it as a tool of separation. And that's what you have to watch out for, whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe it's drinking, maybe it's drugs, maybe it's gaming, maybe it's movies. And there's nothing wrong with movies, but if you're using, TV, news, all these things to take you out, then look at like, okay, where can I bring my presence back and re-engage with my life and bring more to the table, bring more to the people, bring more to the places that I go? How can my presence be uplifting to the world and to those around me? And that will make a drastic change in your life. So that's my challenge for you this week. Do a presence walk every day. Make eye contact with the people you come into contact with. Like look people right in the eye and face them and give them your full attention, even just for a few seconds, and see what happens. And I'd love to hear about your experiences. Put it in the messages below. And that is it for today. Join me next Tuesday for another tip, Ascension Tips, Tuesday Tips for Transformation. I'm Waxela Sananda. Thank you so much for tuning in. Namaste.